Hello, everyone. I want to extend a special invitation for you to join me on my virtual tours. And I want to tell you what makes my virtual tours very unique and different. But first, being the tour guide that I am, I've got to tell you a story. So 10 years ago, when I moved my family from California to Israel, we came directly from the airport to the Galilee. This is where we wanted to live. Why the Galilee? Because here in the Galilee, in the north of Israel, we've got such an amazing tapestry of people. We've got the Druze and the Bedouins and the Jews and the Christians and the Muslims, all citizens of Israel, living together side by side in a shared living that is unequaled anywhere in the world. This was very, very important to us. Not only that, but what I did, I took all the stuff that I love, teaching history and ancient civilizations and geography and cultures and all of the good stuff like that, and I turned it into a great career as a tour guide. And everything was going so well until exactly a year ago when the pandemic began and all my tours started to cancel. It took me about 3 to 4 months to sit there and be in total shock. I know that you know what I'm talking about. And realize, wait a minute, this is not going away. And I started to look around, what are other people doing? And I realized that there were other tour guides who were not just sitting there at home. They started to go virtually on those Zooms that we started to use. And I thought, I can do that. But I said, if I have to start all over again and learn something totally new, I want to do it a little bit differently. When other tour guides are taking you from place to place to place, we're going to see this and we're going to see this, that's amazing. But one of the reasons I moved here is because I love the people of Israel, their stories and their histories. And so I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my participants to meet the people. And that's what I started to do. Okay, so I decided to take the Druze of Israel first. And I interviewed 5 Druze friends of mine. And what I do is I bring my Zoom participants, my virtual tour participants, to meet the people. So I have a tour about the Druze. We go and we interview them and we ask them, and through their stories and through the interviews, okay, my participants, my tourists get to learn about their lives and about their culture and about their traditions and about stories of living together and stories of coexistence. Not always really great stuff. Sometimes we have some big issues. And after that, I built a tour about the Bedouins. The Bedouins of the Galilee. Most people think that the Bedouins all live in tents. I don't think so. The Bedouins of the Galilee all live in villages, and they are amazing people. And I bring my tourists to visit the Bedouins of the Galilee and interview some amazing people, and through their stories, we learn about their lives. And then I took the largest group of Christians in Israel. Do you know what it is? Have you ever heard of the Melkites? They are Greek Orthodox and Roman Catholic mixed together. They blended together and they are called the Melkites. They don't live anywhere else in the world. All the Melkites live here in the Levant. They are the largest group of Christians, and you know what? They're Arabs, Arab Christians speaking Arabic, praying in Arabic. Most people would say, what? Yes, they're amazing. So I built a whole tour about the Christians of Israel. And then I took the most difficult one of all, the Arab Muslims, citizens of Israel, and I built a tour around Arab Muslims and their very, very difficult place between being Palestinian and Israeli. They are both. And what is it? What kind of conflict is there in between these two different people? That's a fascinating tour. So I call it the Tapestry of Israel. I have a tour about the Druze, then the Bedouins, then the Muslims, and the Christians, the Tapestry of Israel. And of course, I also have a tour about my kibbutz, about the Jews that live here in the Galilee. And then I decided, someone said, what about Haifa? Haifa, the city of Haifa is very diverse. So I went and I built a tour about the city of Haifa, not going from place to place, but more about the people. We interview 3 native-born Haifans and learn their stories. It is a very, very interesting city. What makes it so multicultural, so tolerant, so diverse? The people, right? The people. And so it's a great tour. And then there's another one called Living on the Northern Borders, because the people that were on my tours, they kept asking, well, what about this? And what about this? So I went and I interviewed 4 friends of mine that live almost on the border fence with Syria and with Lebanon. And through interviews with them, why do they live there? Aren't they scared of Hezbollah? Aren't they scared of the Syrian civil war? Why do they live there? All of these questions. And through their stories and their interviews, we learn about why they choose to live there and what an amazing place this is. So anyways, on my tours, you come and you visit with the people. And when people visit my tours and at the end, they're always saying, wow, that was amazing. And so I want to invite you personally, come visit the people of Israel. You can't come physically right now, I know. The skies are closed. We're sort of like stuck here for a while. But anyways, join me. The tours are free, okay? And if you like it, if you find value in the tour, if you thought it was interesting, you can give me a tip. That's all I ask, okay? Anyways, so I would love to see you on my tours. My website is www.crossroadsisrael.com. And if you go there, you'll see the tours. You can register. I would love to see you there. And that's it. And from now, I'll see you on the tours, and I welcome you to Israel virtually until we see you again, sort of down the road, but hopefully sooner than later. Thanks, you guys. See you on Zoom.